Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines. Last month, 2 espionage clues, November 22nd.
Wow, the Queen of Swords. So this card is actually a redhead.
4 days later, a report that a red-headed British diplomat is accused of posing as a spy. Last week's prediction, Val spots a bully in the chart.
Might start around Monday afternoon. It's some kind of bullying theme.
A deadly afternoon in Wisconsin and a politician who refuses anti-bullying and sexual harassment training.
Yeah, I keep getting women.
Welcome to Royal Revelations. I'm astrologer Val Evans. It is Friday, December 27th, 2024, and we've got a great show for you today. Hope you're having a relaxing and festive holiday season and week. And if you're like me, you're looking forward to the new year. Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot will be joining us to review the predictions using the charts and tarot cards. Super excited to see what she came up with. On this show, we make predictions of royal figures to show you how to make your own personal predictions using your own solar return chart. And if you'd like help, just go to my website and order a predictive solar return calendar or a personal reading. I have a special reading going right now for 2025, and the information is in the description box. A special thanks to members. The members really make it possible for the show, so we really appreciate your support. And if you'd like to become a valedictorian and support us, please click the join button. We are live every Friday. And valedictorians, by the way, I just dropped the first solar return lesson exclusively for members, so make sure to check it out. Lesson 2 is on the way. And I'm just going to invite Amber in. Hey, Amber.
Hi.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Yes.
And you have, you've got a bit of news, I hear.
Cody has some news
Cody.
that he wants to share, that he was blessed with a baby sister this week.
God.
And she'll make her debut, but I'm going to share a photo of her. Her name is Cookie. And she's a teeny tiny baby, maybe 4 or 5 pounds. She'll stay quite small. So we added her to the family this week.
Adorable. So lots of things going on for you.
Yes. Yeah. And her name is Cookie. And I'm with my Taurus in my chart. I needed to name her after a food.
Yeah, we had a discussion about that. She's got to be a Taurus rising.
She must be.
Yes. So I love it. Cody and Cookie. We hope we get some maybe small clues from Cookie. We'll see.
Yeah.
So hello, everyone. Welcome to the chat. And how about resolutions? Do you have any resolutions this year?
You know, I think I should have some, but I never do. And then I think about it. I'd probably like to do something with my daughter around cyber internet breaks, getting a little break from our phones.
Oh, yes.
Sort of doing some disconnect, together.
That is so difficult. So good luck. Well, everyone, we've got some things coming up for the royal family, and I don't think anybody is seeing this coming. So we've got at least 3 shocks or at least big surprises we're going to talk about for 2025. And before we begin, I wanted to just go and share this real quick. Whoops. Let me move over. I wanted to tell everyone how to find your YouTube, and that's at Taurus Moon Tarot 761. And of course, if you're interested in reading more about astrology, you can go to Amazon and find my books, The Secret Career Code and Forensic Astrology 101. We're going to talk a little bit about Uranus, but before we do, I wanted to go to you, Amber, and talk about some of your observations, and maybe you did a pre-spread.
Yeah, I did. And I have a lot of Aries energy in my prespread with the Emperor. So lots of Mars and my Aries card. So Mars, Aries energy. This is action oriented. There's a lot going on, but I pulled it with the Mercury card as well. So I'll be curious if the charts will show some Mercury communications, things like that. The one little caveat is this stinky Seven of Swords. So deception, getting away with things, something might be coming in around the Seven of Swords. So I'll be curious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, just seeing those cards makes me think, like you said, being proactive. A lot of good things can come from Aries and getting
Yeah.
to the next stage. Maybe that might signify that we're jumping in to
Yeah.
2025 pretty fast.
Yeah.
But we also have some pretty serious events going on for the royal family, and
Mhm.
one thing I wanted to make sure everybody knows, we're going to do some mundane predictions for the next show. I think we've got so many charts for the royals. We're just going to stick to the royals today, but
Yeah.
we've got a major event for Harry. He's going to be in court in just a few matter of days, I guess, or a couple of weeks. So he's going to be back in London. And we're also going to look at the chart for Meghan Markle to see what's going on with Harry in her chart.
Yeah.
We've got Prince Charles's charts, and we have some things we're going to talk about with regard to Prince George. So let's get started. We've got Uranus, and that is the sign of jumping helicopters when it's in good aspect. And the way that I look at Uranus is the same as I do with Aquarius, really. To me, it's the same thing. That's the sign of Aquarius right there. But Uranus is defined by just things that are sudden, things that happen. On a good note, they can happen really fast. Like if you're going through something pretty tough and you got Uranus in the mix in a good aspect, it's going to be over fast. So that's one thing that's so good about Uranus, I think, and
Yeah.
Aquarius. Things are up high. And, often you're going to see little hints of the future with Uranus in your solar return chart. If it's well aspected, there's going to be something that you do in your year that is going to have some kind of positive future connotations of some
Okay.
sort. So something to think about. But I was, I don't know why this happens, but when I get in my car, sometimes my audio books come on, and for some reason Prince Harry's Spare came on, and so I was like, oh, I'll listen to it for the 10th time. Why not? So I listened to it, and I forgot about this one chapter where he talks about learning how to fly a helicopter.
Oh.
Both Harry and Prince William, they're emergency helicopter pilots. They've taken training.
Yeah.
And so you wonder if there is something to be said about that. Are they ever going to apply that in their later lives? Are they going to be able to help? And I was thinking, should we ask that? I'd love to know how the helicopter kind of plays in for them.
I did also pull the 11th house card, which is Aquarius, natural house, and Uranus ruled. So I wondered if we would have 11th house themes. So let's see what your helicopter clue could be. Yeah, this is fast. This is Uranus too. This is an Aquarius card, that Knight of Swords. It's lots and lots of fast movement and information, but it is around a group of people. It's like a network. This is networking. This is working with other people, collaborating. There might be a collaboration. And it could be something invested in with the money card, a little bit of an investment. Are they investing in something?
Yeah, maybe an investment. Also, having to deal with the shocks of the church, as we have talked about before. Maybe the church is still in the mix. What do you think in general about England and the church? Do you think we're done with that?
No. This is someone falling on their head. This is that horse in reverse again, the Knight of Wands. This is a no card to that question. And it's not a great Not a
Yeah.
great aspect in the reverse.
Unless it's a bad person falling off the horse, that could be good, but in general, you don't want that for yourself, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it that much in readings,
Mm-mm.
for like, if I do for myself or anything,
Yeah.
thank goodness. I see other bad cards though sometimes.
When I see
Um,
this though, sometimes it's they knights often represent military, and this as an Aries card, this is an Aries card, could represent military personnel, um, messengers, travelers. That's all those things with the knights.
Now, if you see a reverse card and let's say that card is a message and it's reversed,
Mhm.
could you say that it's a message that didn't make it, or would it be like a bad message? I guess it would depend on the clarification cards.
It could depend on the question specifically, but it also could always indicate delay. Anytime
Okay.
there's a delay, a reversal in an
Okay.
action-oriented card, it could present a delay of information.
Okay, great. And
Yeah.
Jan, Queen Elizabeth II, former chaplain Ascendant says King's Christmas speech was a declaration of civil war. Oh my God. What? Are you serious? Welcome, Jan. Thanks for joining
Wow.
us. Always a wealth of information. And welcome, Sensei. Charlotte is a force to be reckoned with, such ancient wisdom. Angel, you get the tower too often for yourself. I haven't gotten it in a while, but
Right.
when I do, oh boy, yeah,
Yeah.
it can show that the cards fall, but sometimes you're building with the wrong card, so it can be good,
Yeah. It
you
can be
know.
good.
Mhm.
Definitely.
And let's see, Sue, welcome, Elfaz, Michelle is here. Thank you so much. And
Mm.
let's see who else. Oh, Christine, we've got Christine, CR user, and I think Buckeye is in the room as well. So welcome everybody. All right, now let me get back to this. And all right, so that's Uranus. And whenever I look at Uranus, sometimes you notice I'll be looking at Aquarius and I'll say Uranus. It's because they're basically the same. So Uranus, Aquarius, is just you're going to look at both in your chart for things that are going to be changing. And if you got a bunch of blue lines going through either one of them, that's something that happens pretty fast. And it's almost like, you're ice skating, if you're a good ice skater, that is. And you're just skating through, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And here is a picture of the carol service that Princess Catherine had. She and Prince William do this by themselves. King Charles and Queen Camilla, they stay behind. They did that last year. I think it's a great way for the family to be seen
Yeah.
by themselves. Great branding for them, but it was, I don't know if anybody caught it on YouTube, but it is a lovely, lovely service. Just, everything seemed perfect. So
Yeah.
very happy too. So I think it really does something for the sentiment of the people.
Yeah.
It's very positive, and the royals really need that.
Yeah.
Okay. So just remembering the birthday wish from Princess Catherine. This is the picture that she chose. So this is kind of jumping. This is sudden. And who's kind of out in front here is Prince George. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but definitely shows high-minded thinking, and but also potentially a switch for 2025.
Yeah.
Now, this is just a quick snapshot. This is George's moon calendar, which you can look at on AstroSeek for yourself. And you can also see for 2025, this starts in March. The number 6 here, this is the solar eclipse. And the solar eclipse usually shows something that is new that's starting. It takes about 6 months to fully develop. But whenever there's a moon in this chart that is close to one of your planets, your natal planets, and for him it's Uranus, and it's in Aries. This is something that's probably going to happen. There's a big change coming for him. Funny how it is in his 4th house. So I figured we'd ask a question for him. Usually this means that you're going to have some kind of big change in your stability, maybe,
Yeah.
or you're just going to move. So is George moving?
Well, I have to say the last astrological card that I did pull was the fourth house. So the fact that I pulled the Aries card and the fourth house, I just think is wild. Just wild.
See, and Aries being part of that, I mean, that's natally his fourth house, which is the point
Oh,
you're making.
right.
That, you know, I'll let you keep going.
Yeah. Let's see. Um, it Two of Swords. That's interesting. It's almost like, can't say yet. There's a decision that's sort of currently under, I don't know why I'm getting observation. There's like an observation or analysis going on. Oh, but the Three of Wands, that's overseas. That's far away.
Okay. I wonder if this is something sudden that is far away where they're trying to figure out, is this the right place for us to be? I don't know. But
Right.
Aries is definitely it has to do with war. I mean, it's in all of our charts,
Yeah.
but this is heat. This is the fire element.
Yeah.
And it is something where, you just have to pay attention because it can mean sudden things around the house that could happen. Could this, and let me ask one more question, could this be some kind of event that actually happens inside his residence? And that would be around the solar eclipse time frame for 2025.
The Devil card. I need to clarify this. Devil card. The Devil card is stuck. This is being stuck. And with the Four of Swords in reverse, that's definitely like stuck in bed. Stuck in bed. Devil card.
That's weird.
That's strange. Oh. The Lover's card. There's a decision that's being made around the home. There is a decision of stay or go. The Devil card is feeling really stuck. That's Capricorn and Saturn. That's being restricted. And this is a big communication card, and it's in the reverse. So again, Wands in reverse. It's delay. It's stuck. It's not moving forward. There's not communication. It's almost like a cutoff. It's a big, big fork in the road.
Okay. I think they're going to move.
They could move.
The Windsors will be moving.
Yeah, this is a moving card. But there's delay around it with that Eight of Wands in reverse.
Okay. Yeah. I also got that. What did I get? In one of my pre-spreads, it was something like the card that represents sort of not being able to make a decision. I guess there's a couple of them, but yeah, that came in. So it's tough. It's tough for everybody to try to figure out what to do these days, even the royals.
Yeah.
And yeah, Melissa, Kate is a Cap, just saying. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And Capricorns, they are committed even to a fault. They want to stick with it. They do not want to give up. It's hard to change for Capricorns. And so there you go. And Elfas, he said, Eton is hardly abroad though. And Sensei says they're going to send him to boarding school. So yeah, that could be it. That's something that could also represent Uranus is moving to moving to a school. All right, so let me add this again. And now we're going to go on to Prince Harry. We're going to look at what's up with Prince Harry, and we're going to look at Duchess Meghan's chart. Now, this is Duchess Meghan's solar return chart. And in case you guys don't know what a solar return chart is, I'm just going to show you a quick intro here.
Make accurate predictions about your life by the month using your solar return chart. It's a calendar starting on the first month of your birthday and reveals life-changing events throughout your year.
get chills when I see Princess Diana and her solar return chart. It's kind of crazy how it works out. So here's Duchess Meghan's solar return chart for this year, starting August 4th. So her chart is really going to be like 2024, 2025. And so we're in the November, no, actually, we're in the December 4th to January 4th month. And the reason that I put November here is because it was a pretty big time. Notice how the fourth house is in Aquarius, and Aquarius means sometimes it means divorce, but it wouldn't necessarily mean that he's getting a divorce, but that's when they started talking, they meaning the public and the press started talking about a divorce and how things started to split.
Yeah.
And so what you would do for this solar return chart is you'd look at the fourth house. It really started a little bit earlier than that, which might have been plans to split up, in a sense, split up their duties.
Yeah.
And then what would we do? We would look at where Uranus is, and Uranus would show that it's the partnership kind of it just splits. That would be Uranus, at least temporarily. And at that point, there's Harry. He's going to Canada, and it doesn't look like he likes it very much because of that red line there. Now, Venus shows it's the seventh house lord for Meghan. And so that's going to obviously be Harry. What's so weird, this just struck me right now, is that Prince Harry, his symbol Venus on Regulus, which is the king degree or a prince, is conjunct Mercury, which is a twin. And I don't know if anyone else, they pulled it out in the press, just a clip, but you can clearly see in Princess Catherine's caroling video, it's in, I swear, the first 30 seconds of the intro when everybody's filing into the church and you see Prince Harry's doppelganger. I mean, you can't believe Prince Harry is like waltzing into the church, but of course it's somebody else.
Somebody else.
So it would definitely show that, we're all being shocked by the twin, whoever this twin is. We might actually see another twin. That's a question for you, because I wonder if what we saw going into the church might be some kind of foreshadowing of maybe another twin.
Interesting. I didn't see that. I'll have to go check it out. What is this? Well, I got 2 cards. Woo! Okay, so if we are going to, it's a yes. Will we see more of that? Yes. That's a big manifestation kind of energy. And it's something that's quite exciting. There's an excited element around it, but it's curated. It could be something curated with this magician. And this is my will card too. So
I know
maybe that has some.
Yes, that's your will card. So, so it has something to do with Prince William. Maybe Prince William is hanging out with his twin or something.
Maybe.
But what's also very interesting about those 2 cards is you have a hand that's holding up.
Yes. The same wand. Yes. And to clarify, is it a yes? I got the sun card. This too is children. So maybe some twin energy around the kids.
Yes.
But do you notice though that this outstretched arm, like you mentioned, is holding this wand, but this reminds me of that image of George in that photo from the birthday, that jump, his arm is outstretched on that side of the photo.
So it's kind of like it's pointing up. And they're definitely holding something as if, I wonder, you know what? Often when you've got some kind of event where there's competition, I mean, Aries is sports, which is what you were holding up earlier. This could be someone maybe in the Invictus Games who looks like Prince Harry. I don't know, but they're like going to the finish line and they're holding the torch, So could be Olympics or something like that. But that's okay. So I don't want to overthink that too much. But that is very interesting. Now, again, we're looking at Duchess Meghan's solar return chart. And if you're interested in looking at your own solar return chart, you go to AstroSeek and you pull your solar return for the last birthday and then click the solar only tab. Now, let me go back here to what's going to happen after this kind of sudden thing that happens. And let me go back to this big chart here. Okay. We've got, so this is August, September, October, November. We're in December 4th to January 4th. And oh, this is really interesting. December 4th, look at, you see Neptune right there? That is a photo. And remember, after all of that divorce talk, what drops is a photo at
Yes.
Ninth House is the press. It is a very famous photo of, ooh, I'm getting chills, the royals. And it's well received, I think, for the most part, aside from people saying that their children are fake. But it makes a big, big statement, I think, that they're
Yeah.
happy and, that it's just a family photo. Notice that Neptune is conjunct the cusp of the fifth house for family. Fifth house is family. It's the Leo house. So family photo. So yay for them. Big win for them. So that's December 4th to January 4th. So we're moving through here. Oh, and notice with Aries in the fifth house, it is a family of redheads. And what were they talking about? All they could talk about was the kids' red hair.
Yeah.
So that's that red clue that we got. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to see at first. This is going to come up again too. So this would be November, December, January. So this is going to be February. And there's going to be another kind of maybe a split of some sort. Could be something that has to do with her business practices or whatever. And so again, that's February. I think I made a note of it. No, I didn't. Okay. So then what happens later in that month? Okay. We go from an ouch, which is the red line, and this is Harry. Harry doesn't like whatever's happening. He does not like this.
Yeah.
But then we go over to a yay. It's a win. And I'm going to explain that in a second. The first thing I want to ask you is, what is going on with this Uranus in Meghan Markle's chart? Is he going to attend an event alone?
Interesting. It's like yes, but it's definitely work related, and he's probably doesn't love the idea of it. This is like a school, a college, some sort of higher learning kind of card, and this is a Virgo card. It's like taking your time, and he's a Virgo. But yeah, this is working on your own on something, your own singular project, or taking classes or something. It's definitely about learning something new.
He's whittling.
Yes, burning the midnight oil and, working very hard and diligently on something buildable. I'll say that there's a building element to both of these.
Okay.
Building.
So that's interesting. Yeah. And with him on the horse looking out, I mean, I don't know if that's him on a horse, but somebody on the horse looking out with the pentacles, it's almost like trying to search for new ways, maybe to make an income.
And it's something that's already been started. Seeds already planted. It's something already working, but it's building it and maybe leveling it up by doing more, learning more.
Okay. There's some pretty critical news about, I didn't realize that Prince Harry is on the board and gets $1 million plus a year promoting a mental health app. And so some journalist goes into Glassdoor and sees how it's a pretty toxic culture in that that company, and probably doesn't have anything to do with Prince Harry, since he's kind of like
Yeah.
the big guy that nobody talks to. He doesn't really necessarily work in the office,
Right.
but that came out, and something, you don't.
Mm.
Those journalists, they're constantly coming after Prince Harry, but so that sort of came to light.
Yeah.
And Lisa St. Jean, nice to see you. It depends on what I'm looking at. I with the moon calendar, it's pretty tight for me with the moons, maybe 1 to 3 degrees. But with other charts, it could be a whole house. As long as there's no planets in between, you can still get the energy from
Yeah.
the very next planet, no matter how far away it is. So there's a whole book about that. It's called The In-Betweenity of Planets. So,
Oh.
yes, so you have to take a look at that. The Spencer red hair gene. Yes, that's right, Angel. And
Mm.
Angel, I want to thank you for helping us out again, as you always do. You came to us this year in 2024, so we was one of our big wins. So thank you so much for being our moderator.
Yeah.
And let's see, we have Queen Elizabeth's father was George. That's right. Yes. Oh, I forgot about that. Yep. Christine, the polo. People didn't like it. I tried to watch that. Did you try to watch it?
I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't. I wanted
Too
to, but
bad.
I didn't.
It's
Must be a
best.
reason.
It kind of was very kind of reality show. I think the players' lives are pretty interesting, but
Yeah.
it came off a little bit vapid and like
Mm.
who's hooey and stuff. And
Yeah.
you got to be careful of doing that right now, because with the economy and recession next door, you
Yeah.
don't want that kind of flash and pomp and circumstance in reality shows. I just don't think people are very
Yeah.
interested. Plus the fact with polo, I think there's only a certain type of person who can really understand and
Yeah.
be interested in it. So Gibson,
Yeah.
so nice of you. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too. And yes, polo was very posh. I'm surprised I didn't like it more, actually.
Yeah.
Um, Elfaz, I watch polo is good. Polo men are hot. I didn't think of it that way. So yes, we're glad you made it too, Gibson.
Oh,
And Joyce, you said polo was very good. Can't wait for season 2. All right, I'm going to try it one more time.
maybe I'll give it a go.
You
Yeah.
guys are so crazy. Angel, you said it made them come across as very out of touch with us minions, in my opinion. Yeah, the elite. So got to be real tuned in to what people want right now.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is so typical of anybody in your chart. It's like something. It's like a crash. It's really. With Uranus squaring Venus, which is Prince Harry, this is kind of like something really unexpected. As an example, it wasn't expected that Polo, the documentary, would not do well. Maybe that was part of it, but it's also something else. I don't want to say, I mean, Uranus, I showed you what that means. So you can
Yeah.
look at that list at the beginning of the show. But then what happens, and what I meant referring back to, this is so typical in our charts, is that, let me erase this.
Mm-hmm.
You go from shock to, oh my God, this is great. And there we go. We've got, it's almost like 2 people, because often I
Yeah.
assign planets as people, and there is a sextile to the royals. Now, this could be children again. This could be possibly in February. We're seeing the kids on TV. They're starting to get Archie and Lilibet out there on TV. That's a possibility. And the press or whoever it is, somebody likes it. It goes very well. It goes very well. But it could also be something on TV like a maybe a project that she's doing, Meghan Markle, and it goes very well. So my question is, it's like crash and then a buoy of some sort. What's the good news for, it looks like Meghan Markle?
Yeah. When you said that about children, the card that I just pulled was this Page of Wands, which is someone young. This is a child. And I also had that same feeling with the sun cards with around the children. So perhaps you're right. Maybe we'll see some a little bit more front facing of the children. It's a redhead too. No. So around Meghan Markle, this is something that is actually a positive ending. It's a decided ending to something for her. Oh, this is ending some kind of long-term investment that she has worked on for a while. It's closing the book, of closing a chapter, shutting it and putting it in the archives, and it goes away. I don't know what all her ventures are, what all of her business projects are, but it feels like it's like shut down. It's done.
Looks like she's got a bunch.
Mhm.
But what do you think?
But it's positive. It is positive.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Sometimes, I mean, we can't spin 20 plates constantly. You know, we got to put a few down. And Inga, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. And let's see. Angel, you said it would have been better if the timing didn't suck. Everyone is struggling financially and they're all rubbing out. Um, yeah, they obviously filmed it before things got bad. I don't know. I think it was still bad, but yeah, agree with you. And Willie prefers football, soccer. Yeah.
Mm.
Faybell's morning from Australia. Good morning. Housewives is vapid and that franchise is a hit. That's true. But is it as much of a hit now? I mean, I used to watch it, but I never watch it anymore. Just
Yeah.
it's just an old formula. And it's also, you find yourself watching something toxic, which isn't nice.
Yeah.
Joyce Vos, one can only hope 2025 people get tired of hating them. Can't be good for one's mental health. Yeah. And I had a conversation about this with someone recently that Pluto is so instrumental in these people's lives because what is happening with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the rest of the royals, their headlines or their lives get transformed into money for the media.
Yeah.
And then what do? They take those negative headlines from the media where the media is making a ton of money off of them. And so they try to transform that back into money and whatever else success for themselves. So it's a constant
Vicious cycle.
yeah, it's a Pluto battle.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right, let me see. Yes, a lot of
I
a lot
do
of
a few
yeah.
things here around Meghan Markle's dad. I keep seeing that around her father's health in 2025.
Okay. Okay, good to know. And let me see here. If we look at the chart, we can see her dad. And so you're going to look at, the fourth house is her dad and Uranus. This is in February.
Mhm.
So, yeah, absolutely some news about dad might be coming in. And
Could
let
he
me
be
see.
meeting the children?
What's that?
Could he be meeting the children? Because I have
Um,
this children energy strong. Oh, I just got 10 of cups in reverse. That might be a no. I just answered my own question.
Yeah, I mean, because it's kind of like Meghan Markle, unfortunately, has to deal with her dad and her sister being a package deal. You either get both of them or all of him and his kids or nothing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think, yeah, this could definitely be, and keeping in mind, Uranus at 26 degrees, that's losing your head.
Mhm.
And it's the Algol degree. So uh, could be something that has something to do with someone's actual physical health, the head,
Mhm.
something like that. So hopefully
Yeah.
not. But
Yeah.
then right after that, some really positive things come in for Megan, and with that Jupiter and Mars in Gemini, we're going to see more twins again. Oh my God, we've been seeing so many twins lately. And I mean, even with the Luigi Mangione trial, everybody and their mother is dressing up as Luigi. So we've got international twins for Luigi. We
Yeah.
have, we just have lots of twins in the news. Well, we're seeing, maybe we'll see that her children are twinning in some way. Maybe they have the same outfit on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this project, this could be a new business partner who might look like someone. It's her new, suddenly we see a picture of her and somebody who looks like Ellen.
Right.
Or it could be, now, a lot of times these, especially when you're rich and famous and you can do whatever you want, basically, you want to be assured of a hit. And so Gemini is very much part of success when it comes to projects and all, because people just like to copy what somebody else is doing. So it's very possible that, Megan is gauging what else has been successful for others as part of the business plan. And that also could be this Gemini energy. So what could we ask? Did we already ask about the twin? I guess we asked about that. What do you think we should ask for a question for Megan?
Well, let's ask that. What venture could it be that she's either putting to bed, putting to rest, or that might be a new one, like you said, that's similar to something else? I keep getting this Page of Swords. That is really interesting. That's like the information finder seeker, the guy sort of peeking through your curtains in the night. I don't know. Oh, well, this is a big dream of hers, whatever it is. It's a big deal to her. And it's centered around healing. It's centered around community and, sort of a global outreach. It's the Aquarius card. So it could be something that she's, taking on around mental health again.
Right.
Or
children.
healing.
Maybe children, because Gemini is kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Cancer risings, they care, they care about others and they feel. And so, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, the lovers, there's that twin energy, the twins, but it's in reverse, which is like a delay, or I'm not going to even say delay. I'm going to say that this is a decision being made around, it's like picking one of the two things.
Well, it sure seems like it gets a lot of traction with the press, but keeping in mind the ninth house is also the court. So could be maybe some good news that they're getting from the court, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So Prime Minister Starmer's brother died at Christmas, Jan says. Val and Amber forecasts regrets around UK politicians. That's right. Oh, that's a shame. I did not see that. And Face Painter says, I agree with Amber. Don't think she will deal with her family again. And okay. Yeah. Elphaz, Pluto battle. Interesting.
Yeah.
And all right. I think I'm caught up. Yep. That's right, Jan. Harry in court early 2025. Christine, a revolving door. Starmer was out of the UK for Christmas. That's right. There was a big article about that. So trying to justify that he's out of the UK. Okay, fine. Go ahead and take a vacation. See if we care. All right. So now we're going to get to the next. I got to get through these because I got a bunch here. This is Harry's. Now, okay. Are you ready for this one? This is Harry's solar return chart for 2005, 2006. Okay. So he's born in September. And this is a huge year for Harry because why? This was when he had Rupert Murdoch's journalists tapping his phone. And they found out that he visited a strip club that year. Oh, yes. And it was a terrible headline. So such a great rising sign to represent a big surprise that year. And so what would we do? We would look at Aquarius and we would see what the rising sign is, or the planet, and that's Uranus here. So Uranus is shocking. Pisces is pictures. Oh, they had some pictures. They had lots of shocking pictures of him, and it's in his first house. So he is just probably beside himself, couldn't believe that this information is coming out that he thought was private.
Yeah.
And again, private, Neptune is secrets. So lots of things that have to do with technology. They found, or they somehow got his pin to his phone. So that shows what he had to deal with in 2005, 2006. And keeping in mind, all right, so there we go. There is the exotic dancer up there. That's Venus in Scorpio. And so you can see him, and he's up here in the eighth house of secrets and sexy time, Not to say that he did anything, but they also got, what was it? Voicemails of Prince William making fun of his brother on voicemail. I mean,
Yeah.
those were the days when we used to use voicemail. Now we just use text, but
Yeah.
so kind of a sign of the times here. And also, we have Saturn here, and Saturn represents a hidden enemy. So you have a hidden enemy. Always interesting to look at your 12th house lord, which for him this year was Saturn, and it conjuncts Black Moon Lilith, which is somebody who is really like, does not care how it helps or hurts you.
Yeah.
They're at war. So it all has to do with something very famous, a famous high end technology, equipment, all spying stuff, really. I mean, really, Neptune is spying. So you can see that there. But also, the ninth house is going to show for him what would be seen in the press that year. And of course, it's in Scorpio. So the press are all talking about the strip club.
Yeah.
And then finally, we've got, I outlined it in red. Poor Chelsea, his girlfriend, is here. And you can see that there's a lot of tension here because of what happened. And so they didn't break up until like 3 years later, but sure was a very tough year for him. And you can see the sun is the seventh house lord. So that's why that's over here. And Pluto represents, what's in the press, and it really splits them up. I wouldn't be surprised if they split after that for a short period of time.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then this is actually the year after. So this would have been 2006, 2005. They're still talking about this. They're meaning the public. And notice how Virgo represents journalists, and it also represents clothing. And you can see the South Node is to purge, to let go. And it shows like taking off your clothes. So there were, photos of people who take off their clothes, as well as, boy, this is a salacious show, as well as the prince himself.
Yeah.
Either talking about it or whatever. But check out that stellium in Virgo. This is a lot of people being terribly critical. And you wouldn't see that unless you see something like a red line. And for him, it would be just huge because of Pluto and so many people being critical. But here's the good news for Harry that year. He was the moon, and he was part of a grand trine, that big blue triangle.
Yeah.
And what that usually means is, everybody else is critical, but I'm doing fine. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. So yeah, it was kind of like, it was something where you just you keep moving on. But it seems like he was okay. It was everybody else who was in a tizzy. Oh my God. And so this is Prince Harry's solar return for this year. And so isn't that interesting how the ninth house, again, showing what the press would be talking about, is in Gemini, the twin. So they're going to be talking about him being a twin. People are twinning, his doppelgangers, all of that good stuff. And so Meghan's right here. Venus is right in there, and it shows beauty, a beautiful wife, and looks like she's getting some good press. Now here, we're in January right now, and in his chart, that's right here, still in the Aquarius energy, which is kind of unexpected things, but so far so good. Things
Mhm.
are okay. We would go so September, October, November, December. So this would be January 15th to
Okay.
February 15th. There is something that comes up soon for him, and this is gonna be his court prediction, okay?
Uh-huh.
Now, it looks pretty good for him with the charts to be able to get some kind of success. However, there
Mm.
is something here that's kind of pulling that success back a little bit. And the reason I say that is because, these are the days they're going to, day after day after day. And let's see if this is September, October, November, December. So January 15th. I don't even know when it is. It could be early January. Jan, you probably know. But and it's the fifth house of family. So
Yeah.
it seems as if somebody's doing something kind of to pull him back a little bit with his success
Hmm.
with the court. But I say that he has a high chance of coming away with, now keeping in mind though, Uranus in Meghan's chart squaring Harry shows that he's going to be upset about something, but I don't think that comes until after the court.
Yeah.
I think Harry has a high chance of success in the court in January. What do you think?
Let's see. Mm. It's this Two of Swords and the Page of Swords again. Yeah, like something is being blocked. He's being ignored. This is someone spying on him from the court's perspective. Underneath, yeah, I could see the victory, but you're right. It's like a dueling energy. This is very good success, and this is sort of moving past something. So maybe it is just I have to just let something go, and that's a win. That I'm sort of rising above something.
Yeah, like maybe it
It
means a settlement or something.
feels like yeah, like just to put it
Mhm.
to bed, just to be done. May not be the ultimate victory, but it's victory nonetheless. But it's so that you can move on. It's so you can move on.
Okay. Okay. And Micro Blue, sorry, I didn't see that. Yes, that was solar return year for that year for Harry when he had some terrible, it was Rupert Murdoch's shady journalists. And I thought it was a great example of what happens when you're completely shocked, something out of the blue you don't even think about. And now the courtiers that year did have a little bit of a tip off. There were some kind of crazy things that were happening with everybody's uh, technology, their
Yeah.
phones or whatever. And so they called Scotland Yard. And so between 2005, actually, it went all the way up to 2016, but it started, I believe, around 2005 where the investigation started.
Yeah.
So that was tough. I know. Didn't realize that it was still being litigated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the face painter, the win is he will have everything on the record. Listening to Spare too, it almost felt like he had some kind of healing from talking about it because he talks about how when the journalist went to jail
Yeah.
and he and Prince Harry and Prince William were both they were they were in the military together and they happened to be together when they heard the news. And Prince William, he said, didn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think Prince Harry needed to talk about it, but it was kind of through Spare where he talked about his feelings and
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Now, let me just add this back and yeah, it's almost like, what is that Pisces there? Pisces is holding him back. That could be maybe something ambiguous where they're like, okay, we got you on these, exhibits. But this
Yeah.
exhibit, you're pushing it. So
Right.
that could be part of it. Could also be that something gets cut or interrupted,
Mhm.
maybe from in the court. Could be something where his family, there's an interruption where he has to run home. Now he's supposed to be giving testimony for 4 full days. So
Yeah.
there could be some kind of reason where he can't be there for all 4 days. All right.
Mm.
So this is Prince Charles's solar return chart.
I
Are
don't
you?
see the
Oh,
chart.
sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
What do you think about this chart? It looks familiar, doesn't it? Looks just like Prince Harry's chart,
Yes.
but not that he's going to a strip club. It's just that the rising sign is in Aquarius. And so, again, this just started for him in November. And so we're talking about King Charles. I got to remember King Charles. So, so here's November 14th. We start off with Uranus being activated, and we are right here as far as the month. And so that's activating Mars. He sure is angry about something because you can see when you activate the Mars, what happens? It's going into this T square, and it has to do with the ninth. I'll bet you it's the press. It's probably the press. Now, let me see here. Yeah, that could be the press, or let's ask what that is. What's
Activating now
Yeah, that is
into the new year.
that's now. What is the and you called it with your Aries card. What's
Yeah.
going on with Aries specifically for King Charles?
So the first thing, when you first opened that chart, I just got a card and I kept getting the word funeral. Because I did get the death card with that Aries Emperor again. I don't know. I don't know how to look for a funeral in a chart, but is there a funeral?
Well, Saturn usually is, Capricorn is, and sometimes with that kind of energy too, it's depressing. Like all you hear about is people, oh wow.
Swords on the bottom. And this is, this is like getting stabbed in the back, though. Could be some kind of betrayal, but it feels like I just keep getting the word funeral. I don't know that I'm not saying whose funeral, but I feel like a funeral theme.
Okay.
Can I see the chart again?
Yeah.
I wonder, because I have my Diana card, which is really interesting. I don't know if there's something around Diana, like memorial or some other thing that he's not going to go to. Where's an ex-wife in there?
I know. Well, I'd have to think about, I can't help but think, Uranus is the X, and, that's an X. So that would be spot on. The X brings something down. And when you have an opposition to any zodiac sign, it's going to be the worst of that sign. So with Scorpio, this is revenge. So there could be something coming out that has to do with her that he's irritated about. Usually what a king is upset about is when he's trying to do something and this would be for anybody. You put so much effort into making something nice, contributing, getting good press, and you get so angry because there's something that comes around and takes the attention away. And that would be Princess Diana energy for sure.
The other thing is like the death of a judge or someone in the court system, not necessarily an actual physical, but like fired, demoted, takes leave. There's possibly someone in the court system, a high barrister, someone might fall in the courts. I'm getting the word judge.
Judge. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, Jan, you said there are complaints about the cost of Charles's coronation. Still, I thought that was buried a while ago. It's so funny with the news cycle. It's like, what are people going to remember, and what are they going to hang on to? And Elfaz said, wasn't there a memorial for late Queen and people were complaining? Yes. Yeah, Jan, so you're answering that. Yeah, 72 million. And Jan, you said easy for UK MSM to attack H&M. They're out of the UK. If they attack Resident Royal, they'd be silenced. Yeah. Also interesting how King Charles did he filmed his Christmas message, and he chose to do it on like location. They're thinking that he did, so he wouldn't have to sit in front of the photographs where they are scrutinized so heavily by the press. So well done. Point to Prince Charles. But yeah, so Mars for him, let me add this. Okay. Mars for him is it's activating at the moment, but it's going to start to activate. Let's see. This is December 14th. I think we're already into Venus now. And that's a good thing. I think it has to do with the money. It has to do with his wife. It has to do with getting something. What is King Charles getting? Could we ask that?
Sure. Yeah.
And by the way, just to explain, North Node is what you get when you see it in your solar return chart.
Could he be getting an opportunity to communicate with Harry or see him?
Oh my God.
There's something with communication. This is shocking information, this Ace of Swords, but it's like raw truth, raw honesty, authenticity with this Virgo card. He could be getting an opportunity to speak to Harry or about Harry. I don't know.
That would be interesting. Okay. All right. Good to know. And I want to hurry this up along because I still have Prince George, and let me add him, and then we'll close. Let's see. Okay. There's Prince George at the caroling, and we've got him here. This is in his solar return chart for December 22nd. So that just started. The moon is in the 6th house, and the moon represents mom. It represents your emotions, and represents something that is kind of interrupting maybe his normal routine. So 6th house is routine. 6th house is also pets. But this is Prince George's solar return chart. And what I have here is that we've got the solar return chart ruler Mercury is in the 12th house. This means that nobody sees him, maybe just because he's in school, right? But isn't that funny how the ascendant is right on Regulus, which shows the king?
Yeah.
This is a king, the future king. We're constantly talking about the future king. And what does the future what is it represented by? It's represented by Uranus. So why is Uranus in a square to him this year? That's what I'd like to know. Because if we were to see Uranus be the future king, why is he not being? Is it because he's, we don't see him? I don't know why, but I would like to know. And this is going to come in. It's going to come in either December, January timeframe, or maybe April timeframe, April, May. But what is kind of sudden for? It's either sudden or it's a change for Prince George.
Let's see. A lot of money, an inheritance. I mean, it's very positive. It's not negative. Oh, this is Catherine card. It's moving. There it is. This is like a new house.
That must be what it is. But, the square shows you don't want to do something. And you know what he might even be saying? I don't want to be future king either. I do not want to be a future king. I don't want to move, all of these things. But what I like about the 12th house, a lot of people say the 12th house is not a great house, but the 12th house means that things happen in private. You don't see it.
Yeah.
There are there are people who are going to want to see him and what he's doing in private. And so it seems like there's a clash of some sort. So we'll have to see what that is, but hopefully. And one more question for you. We were talking about, you know, the thumbnail is helicopters, change.
Mhm.
We did talk a little bit about it with regard to, yeah, the helicopters and
Yeah.
just the Uranus energy. But, Leo's a mountain.
Mhm.
And is there going to be anything this year in 2025 where we see news about the royals and a peak, a mountain?
When we talked about this earlier, I was waiting to share the card where it had the Ace of Wands. In the background, there was, and we were talking about Aquarius and high things. It has this house up on a hill, and I kept seeing this image on the back of that card, like the house is up on a hill or on a mountain. Let me see what it is. This is, yeah, there's the Aquarius card. I mean, it's not negative. It's like the family. Yeah, the 10 of Pentacles on the bottom. Now I forget what the exact question was, but it's a yes with this Aquarius card, the King of Swords. It's actually is something positive, though.
So something could be skiing, could be something that involves maybe some kind of a mountain, something Leo related, high up the peak, the top of the mountain.
Yeah, but it's joyful, it's happy, it's things they like to do. It's like Nine of Cups.
Being happy. Hey, I'll take that 9 of Cups. That means I'm, at the Cheesecake Factory. Mo's channel, or Mo's channel. I love the show. I love the two of you. What a great pair. I'm curious, what is the tarot deck that Amber is using in this video? Can you share the name of the deck? Thanks.
I wish I could. I say this, but I ordered this from Turkey. I probably could find my order and find the name. I don't know that it has a name, but I will happily share if I can find it. I know everybody asks about this deck, and I do love it.
All right. It's we're going to put the Scorpios in this chat on it, so I'm sure we'll be able to find it. And let's see here. Yeah, Melissa, to answer your question, we're thinking, maybe something is changing, so we will see what it is. But Christine, you said Prince William is doing a great job, in my opinion. Yep. All right. Well, thank you again, Amber. We always appreciate your time.
Yes.
And guys, we'll see you soon. You'll probably be seeing another show coming in before the new year, so I'll definitely let you know in the community tab. But thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
You too.